Good evening, afternoon and morning wherever you are in the world. Welcome back to Crafters TV. We are here for our second live show of the day and it's lovely to have your company, and it's a craft along, one of my favourite shows, but a craft along from a different, not a paper craft one, from a different soft craft one. And I'm really looking forward to this one because the project's beautiful and we're going to do real-time crafting. Now, with any project that is involved with soft craft, you'll know we probably won't get that all completed. We'll get as much as we can during this one, but then the lovely lady that I'm going to be introducing in a second will be continuing this craft along during one of her Facebook lives to finish the project off. Right, that said, we are, I'm not going to lie, I'm really looking forward to this one. I'll give a few shout outs though first to all the lovely people that are helping us put this show together. We've got lovely Nicola in one of my ears. I've got, well, they're both in the same ear actually, but opposite ends of the gallery. Lovely Sam Kane is in control of all those close-up shots and getting the right angles and things like that for you. Our lovely Jake's outside, who's been running amok in the studio, getting everything ready. And then of course, if I'm on this side of the building, and I'm going to be totally honest, if I was on that side, I would be slightly worried and concerned how we would get this craft along done when it comes to soft crafts. But the only person that is the right person for this role and this job is our gorgeous Becky Sworn. Are you okay, Becky?
I am. I'm still a little bit croaky.
I was going to say, how's the voice holding out?
Yeah, it's I've had a cough sweet. Oh no, look.
Remember, Becky, low.
Low. You're just going to have to bear with me while I do this craft along with a very low, deep voice. I sound a little bit like Harry Seacombe. Yes, so I'm absolutely looking forward to doing this craft along. And as Debbie said, whatever we do today, or whatever we don't do, I will continue in the Facebook Lives, which hopefully will all be working from next week. So this is what we're going to be making, which is a little bag. This is using 2 of the launches we had last month, using the needle turned applique for the decoration at the front, and then this is one of the slimline shoulder bags that we're going to be making out of some denim. So if you've got any old jeans or old denim fabric, you can utilise this to make the bag.
It is gorgeous, can I just tell you? I am going to ask you for the, do we have a menu list for you as well?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, well,
I hope so.
Are you, do you want me to do the menu, or are you okay to do the menu?
It's all right, I'm going to...
Oh, I say, with that voice there. I love that voice. I think you need to keep that voice, Becky.
Do you think?
I do, yes. Would you be do the honour, shall we say, of reading the menu list of all the ingredients you need for this craft along?
Here's the recipe that you will need. You're going to need your Spring Blooms needle turned applique templates. You'll need to use your slimline crossover bag template, some D-rings, some zips on a roll. We then also have some additional items, fabric obviously. You need fabric for the main part of the bag. You'll need some fabric for the lining as well, and also for the decoration. You'll need some fusible interfacing, not very much, but just a small amount. I've used a decorative button, obviously your sewing machine, your iron. You need some applique needles, a needle threader, and some bag foam or bosal, and also some thread for your sewing machine.
Beautiful, thank you very much. Right, so for everybody that, did you catch us on the earlier show with the soft side of life, little bit cart-loaded style where you add some amazing deals? We asked lots of people to send in the pictures because it's a special day today. It's, get this right way around, National Pet Day. And we had lots of photos that we unfortunately didn't have time to air on that show, but we are going to do those later on in this show as well, because we want you to share your pictures, and if you want to join in with the fun this evening, you're more than welcome to usual address, studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk, and celebrate your pets and send in the beautiful photos. However, we do have, because we've got the craft along, we don't want you to, well, some of you may have missed out on those deals when we launched them, so we've brought them back for today's craft along. Now, I just want to get this right, because there's 6 of these, isn't there? 6? All in one set? Perfect. I think I've got the right bundle. So what we've got here is and I'm going to get that, I don't know what that was flying around in my mouth then, I'm so sorry, I just had to get that out. We've got the sewing template. Now, is this the bag, Becky, that we're making?
It is, yeah.
Perfect.
Right.
So this is the right template for your, and it's called the Slimline Crossover Bag. Beautiful bag, and one that I think in, well, so many different fabrics is going to look absolutely beautiful. The one that Becky's done is absolutely glorious. So that's your first one that's coming in this deal for the price that you're seeing on the screen. Oh, love this. A craft tote, Becky. You didn't tell me about this one.
Did I not?
Oh no, you didn't tell me that. I love this.
I could have done that.
You could have done this at the craft along, and then I could have had that. That's how I'm looking at it. Oh, Debbie, you can get off your bottom and go and purchase them and do it yourself.
You could make it yourself, no problem.
I could do, well, I think with these, the way that these have been designed makes it easy and simple for anyone to understand. The other bag in this one is the tent backpack. I can see Nicola with one of those.
I can
and Sam,
as well.
actually. And Sam, I can see Sam and Nicola with one of those. So they are your 3 bag templates, but that's not all. So you have got, now I'm going to say this the right way around, Turned Edge Applique. Have I done that right, Becky?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Designed by the very fabulous and very talented lady, Jo Avery. Is that right? I think I've got that right, haven't I?
Yes.
Designed by Jo Avery, yeah,
That's
absolutely
right.
Beautiful. You've got the floral tile, look at this, I love this. And you're getting all of the elements in there to be able to create those beautiful designs that you're seeing on the front. We've got the meadow flowers. I actually think I've got a bit of a favourite going off there. I really like that, Becky. That's beautiful. So that's the same again, where it is your turned edged applique. And then the last one in that bundle, I love that too. Spring blooms, absolutely beautiful. I can just see that in lots of different coloured fabrics. But they are all of your threaders, turned edged applique templates, designed by the fabulous, and I'll get that the right way around, Jo Avery. So you're getting 3 of those. Look at that, for the price that you're seeing on the screen today. No wonder these flew when you launched them, Becky. I can understand why. You're getting a lot for your money there. And lots of different styles of bags that you can do, and then those lovely designs that you can pop on. £45 or $60 is the price that you're seeing on the screen. However, as always, with Club Inspire, you take off your Club Inspire discount, but the platinum price that you see in there is £38 or $48, which is an amazing deal in itself. Now, you can still go ahead over to the website, check out all the things that we've had on, that we had on the earlier show, the softer side of life, because there was some brilliant deals. I'm surprised it's still here, but I am going to tell you, we were in single figures when we started. We're now down to the last, is this right, Nicola? The last 2. So the last 2 of the Builder Block system, for the price that you're seeing on the screen, the regular, it's not regular, it's nearly half price there, $59.99 or $83.97, but that lowest you can take it to here in the UK is for less than £50, $47.98, $67.18. You will not regret your decision to buy this. If you saw that show earlier, Becky did go through all the reasons why you need it, the design of it, why it's being done there to make it so super easy. And yeah, cut fabrics in real quick time, and when you're wanting to put those together. And if you saw that little bit, and you only did a teeny demo on those, but created that square using those in next to no time, to be fair. So absolutely incredible, but we have only got 2 opportunities left for you to get hold of that, and once it's gone, it's gone. So take advantage of that deal. There are lots of other deals. There's slide stack storage. That is out, that came out today, that we launched in that softer side of life first show. So they are also on there, and they were at a brilliant price as well, but we'll go into that in a little bit more detail, because I am conscious that it is a craft along, we need to get on. We've got social media superstar, we've had a switch, we've now got Susie T. Whoop, 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 Susie T. I feel like Julia Roberts. And she goes, whoop, 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 at the road trip. That's what I feel like when I hear Susie T's
at the polo
name.
match,
She makes me feel that way when I'm like, yay! So Susie's in charge of all the comments. Any questions, anything you want Becky to go over, please do let her know in the comments, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube. Stay interactive with us for this last 2 hours of the live show that we've got on today. But Becky, I think I'm going to stop talking. And we're going to throw over to you, so get started on this project.
I'm going to show you a few samples before I start doing them. So I want to show you what the bags look like. So this is that sort of backpack. So you've got a zip here, but you've also got a zip on the inside, so obviously that part will be on your back, so that's the way you put your phone or your special things that you don't want anyone to pinch. So I think these are really useful for kids. So that is the drawstring backpack. Then this is the slimline bag, which is the one that we're going to be using at the moment. And you can see there's quite a lot of structure to this. And the reason for this is because I've used something called bosal or foam inside the bag to give it more structure. And then this is the craft tote, which absolutely I can't remember who made this, but she really went to town because you've got some beautiful embroidery all the way around the outside. Really useful. So you could make this for all sorts of different crafts in there. Now, the needle turned applique, here's a few samples of this. It is absolutely beautiful. Oh. Needle turned applique is different to ordinary applique, and I will go through that while I do the demo, because I'm going to be using both needle turned applique and also the bag templates. But you can just see some of these beautiful samples that we've had made. It is a really beautiful, it's a slow craft, I will be honest with you. This is not something you're going to be able to knock up quickly in a weekend. This is going to take a bit of time. So not a rushed one, a nice, no. I would call it a sedate, relaxing craft. So what we're going to do in the demo is we're going to make the bag. Obviously, we're not going to make it in its entirety because there's just not enough time. But I'm also going to do a little bit of the needle turned applique, but I'm not going to spend all the time on it because actually, if I just did the needle turned applique, that would be the 2 hours, and that's quite boring for you to just watch me going. Ah. So we're not going to do that. So what we're using is that slimline bag, and this is what the template looks like. So they all follow a theme. They're all like this. They're sort of interlocking shapes made out of this thick acetate. You'll need to use a heat erasable pen or tailor's chalk to go through all of these markings. And so you will just use your little booklet that comes with your bag, and in here it will show you exactly all the things, bits and pieces that you need, and then it highlights in red which shape you're going to be using. So because they overlap, this makes it abundantly clear what you're going to be using. Now, as a little caveat, if you're going to be making the craft tote, there is an error on the template. So when you order it, please email customer services and they will send you a paper template for the particular shape. It's just basically, it's around about 1.25 inches, a little bit too long. So that's the only change in it. But we've made it very clear here, and we give you a little guide as to how many of everything you need to cut. So you can really make sure you've got everything cut and ready before you start stitching. Now, I've already pre-cut my pieces again because it's really boring for you to watch me cut things out. So I've cut everything already, but we do have to adhere bits and pieces together. So normally what we're talking about is outside of fabric, we normally put something like a wadding or a batting, or in this case, we're putting a bosal foam over the top. Now, bosal looks like this. It's a thick foam. You can see it is quite springy. If I bend it like that, it still sort of pops up to its actual shape. This gives structure to bags. This makes bags being able to stand up on their own. So if you think of an Hermes Birkin, for example, it's not going to use bosal, but they're quite a structured bag. They stand up on their own, whether they've got things inside them or not. And then if you look at a Mulberry Bayswater, they're quite slouchy because they've got no... Yeah, you know what I mean when I'm talking about bags. But they're quite slouchy, so when you don't have anything in them, they sort of sit like that. Whereas an Hermes sits upright. And it's all to do with how you structure your bags. So if you're using a bag, so we talked about, earlier on we had that little clutch bag template. You wouldn't want to use bosal in there because it's too structured. But you want something that makes it nice and sort of squishy and floppy, so you'd use batting or wadding in it. You can get this kind of foam in different weights, but I'm just using a medium weight here, so it's perfectly good. You can see, it stands up on its own. It's got quite a lot of structure to it. I'm making my bag out of some denim that I had at home, but I've also got some brightly coloured lining fabric as well. So I'm going to show you all my bits and pieces that I've got so you can see what I've got here. So outside of the bag and the lining, I cut using the same piece of pattern in the template, but the foam is a bit smaller. And the reason for that is you don't stitch into your foam. Because it's so thick, it would make everything really, really bulky. So when we stitch everything together, we're going to be stitching around the edge and not on the foam. So the foam pieces are always a little bit smaller. So those are the foam pieces and the outside pieces and the lining pieces that form the major part of the bag, so the front and the back. Then you've got your gusset over here. So this is your bag gusset, again made out of foam, but your lining is a little bit bigger because again we don't want to stitch through that. And you've also got the outer piece of fabric here. And what we're going to do in a minute is we're going to adhere these pieces of foam to the outside pieces of your fabric. We're going to stick those together. So we're going to put those to one side. The next thing we've got over here are the zip gusset. So again, you've got your lining and you've got your outside pieces, and then you've got your foam, which again, a little bit smaller. And there's a reason for that, because we want it smaller because we don't want to stitch on the foam. Just always remember the foam pieces always have to be a little bit smaller. And then we have that little pocket that goes at the front. The little pocket, I'm all emotional. The little pocket that goes in the front. I've used the same fabric for the lining as the front, but you could use any other lining. So we have this piece, and we've also got a little strip that's going to go here. So we're going to have a zip that runs through here, but we have that other piece of fabric over the top. So I'll show you on my finished sample, you can see how that looks. We also need some fabric to embellish, to use as the applique, which I've got just to the side of me. We've got two pieces that form the bag tabs that hold the strap together. So we've got pieces already cut there. And then this large piece is 4 inches wide across the whole width of the fabric. Now, denim fabric is very long. It tends to be a lot wider, rather, than normal fabric. So this is quite a long piece. So this is going to form our bag strap. And then I've got a little hand-carved coconut button. You don't have to have exactly the same thing as me, but I thought it created quite a nice embellishment. And of course, you're going to need some zips on a roll. So those are the things we're going to need. So the first thing we're going to get started with is I'm going to use some of our spray adhesive to adhere the foam pieces to the outer pieces of the fabric. So we've got this here. Now, in an ideal world, I would put t-shirts down. I would not put t-shirts down. I would put newspaper down. Don't know where the t-shirts came from. Newspaper down, but I haven't got any newspaper, so I'm just going to use some craft card. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this a spray. Where did I put that spray there? Concerned as to how much I've got left in here, to be honest, because I use it a lot. So we want a layer all the way across here. Make sure you do this in a well-ventilated area. This is our stick and stay, so when we iron it, it will become a permanent adhesive.
And that's the orange can, isn't it, the stick and stay? Ooh, what was that? 3 for 20 on that particular spray on the spring sale section right now. So if you want to get hold of that, but that's only for here in the UK. Yeah. So if you do want some of that spray, and Becky, what a time to stock up.
Yeah, I don't know if it's even going to last me to the end of the show, to be honest. Oh.
I can go and see if Jake's got you some if you need some more.
I might have to.
Yeah.
There might be some in my drawer in the green room, actually.
I'll go and have a look for you.
Or hairspray. That's not going to work. But my drawer in the green room doesn't have my name on it, just as a... Which was mine's not, I never got a name. No, everyone else got a name and I didn't get a name. So rub that on there, and then I want to give it an iron in a minute. So pop that to one side, and I'm going to do the same with the other pieces. So, okay, let's give that a spray. Let's hope I've got enough. There's definitely very, very much at the end. Debbie's found something, but what could it be? Oh yeah, I have got a crown in my drawer. I've got a crown, a hairspray. I think I've got some bunting necklace that I made, and possibly a can of stick and spray. Have I really got some? That is the very end of that. What have you got? You've been rummaging in my drawers.
I went rummaging in your drawers, Becky. I found your spray.
Thank you very much.
But I also found this. What's this?
I always have a...
Look at this crown.
Don't you always have a tiara with you?
No.
You never know when you're going to be invited to like
Well,
a
look,
royal
come here,
thing.
look at it. Oh, my life. I want this crown, Becky. This is beautiful. I love it. Do you just carry it around with you then?
Yeah, you never know.
I think I might have to wear it for rest at show.
Yeah, why not?
Oh gosh, and trip over rest of
Don't trip over all the stuff that I've left on the floor. Please don't do that. Oh, that's much better. Look at that. All right, so a bit more of the spray there. And then, I love the fact that you've got that there. I'll flip that over. So I'm just going to put all those pieces together and I'm going to iron them in a moment.
Oh, of course.
I love a crown.
I know, I
And
love
you
it,
never
Becky.
know.
It's beautiful.
I know, I got it for my 40th birthday.
Did you really?
Yeah.
It's absolutely gorgeous.
It's real.
Are these real crystals and diamonds?
They're real diamonds, yeah.
Are they?
No!
Oh,
What, you
I've fallen
reckon
for it again.
do you reckon if I got real diamonds, I'd be leaving them in a drawer at work? No, they're not real. Who knows what I'll get for my 50th? This is what I keep thinking. Like real
I
diamonds.
was
real
just going to say,
diamonds
because is it next year, your
It's
special
next year,
birthday?
yeah. I'm already starting to plan it. But I am a little bit disillusioned now when I thought of everything.
After what you told me.
I know. So I had a little look and little idle look. You know, like when you look for holidays when you can't afford them. And I was looking at party planners, and there were some party planners. I'm just heating this glue up with my iron so it will adhere. They'd made this amazing Midsummer Night's Dream party, and I thought, oh, I really like that. That'd be a really nice theme. And I thought, oh, I'll just inquire, give a little inquiry as to how much it would cost. And then when I went to fill out the form, it said, what's your budget? And the budget option started at £50,000. £50,000 for a party. As you'd expect, I didn't bother sending a message because I was thinking, oh, I'm going to say, can you do that kind of party on a budget of £55, please?
Ah, dear. Shall we
Right.
shout? Susie T saying she's also 50
Yeah, 50
as
in
well.
January, isn't
She said,
she?
where did the time go?
I don't know.
It's our Sarah's 40th very soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's 40. I think, is it the 23rd? I want to say the 23rd of April.
I'm not sure.
I think it's somewhere around there because it's near Ben's, because Ben's is on... Ooh, I should know this being his TV Wi-Fi. Oh, gosh. Oh,
Well,
I'm glad he's not
you're going to be
here.
in trouble, aren't you?
I am, yeah. I know it's the end of April. I think is it the 30th? Thank you. I think Nicola's going in for the title of Ben's wifey because she knew it straight away. Oh, bless you. Get away, you are not having him. He's mine, he's mine.
Don't fight over Ben. Don't fight
She's
over
got
him.
Sam sat next door to her. She's sat in the same gallery where her partner is.
Yeah, that's true. That's very
Addicted to
true.
that one. While you're doing that, can I shout out a few hellos?
Absolutely. I'm just going to say, I've done that now, so I'm just going to go on to...
Do you know how
start
quick
doing
and
my...
easy that was, though, what you've just
I
done?
haven't sewn it together yet. All I've done is glue
I know,
the
but
pieces together.
to put those pieces together
Yeah.
and put that... What was
Yeah.
that pot called again?
Bosal or foam. Yeah,
The
a
foam.
bag making foam.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, just with that spray. The spray is really useful. I wouldn't use Bondaweb in this respect. I would be using the spray.
Yeah.
So the next thing I'm going to just get myself together with all my bits for doing the applique. So yeah, do
Oh,
your,
lovely.
do
So
your
we
bits
can,
and
we
pieces.
can
Yep.
give a little shout out to all the people
Absolutely.
that are watching, because I'm really conscious that I haven't said good evening to all you lovely lot that are actually watching. So we have got, let's give a shout out. So I need to remember the right comments here. Sarah Brown, she's on Facebook. I can't believe she's still up. Let's just put it this way, because it must be gone 2 a.m. She's put, hello again, my friends. I have you on in the background. If I don't comment, she'll have dozed off because it's gone 2 a.m. Carletta Morris says hello from Arkansas. Laurie Barnett says hello again from Gilbert, Arizona. Elizabeth says something funny to... Oh, wait a minute. Something funny to say, but I have to admit I set an alarm so I didn't miss this live.
Oh, that's
so
nice.
lovely, Elizabeth. Do you know why I sometimes do that when there's something that I want to remember myself? I set the alarm because I know I'll forget. The alarm goes off and then I think, what is it I've set my alarm for now? Usually though for a show that I want to catch, so that's a great way. So Zoe Carver says, hello, evening everyone from me and hubby Brian. Kirsty D, good evening everyone. I've not long got home from work, so a little bit of R&R now, so I'm hoping you're enjoying the show, Kirsty. Mary Pat 1000 says, good morning everyone from sunny Montana. Apparently, been on the phone to my kiddlywinkles. In Barnsley, it's tropical. They've had a hot summer's day today.
Oh.
I know. We had that up here. I could
No, they need
it's
to send it up
warm,
here.
And I have got the fan on me because I'm going to post a picture in a bit, what lovely Nick did about 2 minutes before the show started, because Debbie still had literally a warm, hot flush. But then Becky said, you was warm as well, so I felt better. But yeah, it's very warm in here, but not
really
outside.
warm.
It's not warm outside. Very strange, very bizarre. That bag is so cute, says Laurie. Teresa with the little dinosaur on YouTube. Hi there, my crafty friends. I don't know how to sew, but I'll watch anyways. I love that. And I love, Kirsty. She got a BAB system, build-a-block system before Christmas. Then it went missing. She found it in the loft with the Christmas decorations.
Of course.
I mean, what can I say?
I mean, where else would it be?
Where else would it be? And she, well, Susie T says, Becky has got her sexy voice on tonight.
I have.
Yes, the old croaky there. Mary Pat 1000 says, yes, she loves that craft tote bag. So do I. I think it's absolutely fabulous. And thank you for the love about the crown and the tiara. I'm going to wear it for the rest of the show. So, Maricel says, yes, a crown for beauty queen Becky. I used to have tiara Tuesdays when I worked at a bridal shop.
Oh, I like that idea.
I've always wanted to work in a bridal shop.
Oh, can you imagine?
Always. I've always
I'd
wanted
be
to
in the
surrounded
dresses
by
all the time, wouldn't you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think I'd be trying them on though.
Yeah,
Never mind at the price. I'd be always in them.
I'd have the door locked and just be parading. You know, like in Friends when Rachel and Monica and Phoebe all got the wedding dresses and just paraded around.
That would be me. Me and you could do that, Becky.
Yeah.
We could go and have a little...
We should have done that yesterday, Wedding Wednesday. That's what we should have done. What a wedding dress,
We missed a trick.
Next time.
We missed a trick. Are you ready to continue?
Yeah,
Lovely.
so I wanted to show you what you're going to be getting in the needle turned applique. I'm using the spring blooms. Now, if you watched when I did the launch, I said to you, my lovely viewer, when you buy these, start with that one because it's the easiest one because you've got gentle curves. And I picked the hardest one to do on here because, well, you know, you should do, shouldn't you? So this one is probably the most difficult one because you've got in and out curves, which we can't think of the word, concave, convex curves. So they all follow the same format. So when you get them and open them up, you will have placement sheets, so it shows you how to put it all together if you want to follow the designs that we're doing, but there's nothing to stop you from mixing and matching all the other things. But you can see, because you've got curves like this, which are harder to do, and sort of sharp edges like this are a little bit tricky for you to do. So this is why this is one that I suggest that you practice with the other ones first of all until you come really confident. And you've got other templates in here as well. Great way of doing this, especially if you've got some plain white fabric or cream fabric, is to use the light pad and then you can mark up exactly where you want to put everything. And you'll also get in here 4 sets of templates. So what we've actually done is we've cut everything out. We've given you the bits that we've cut out as well. So if you prefer to cut around something rather than inside something, that is your option. You've got the availability to do that. You have 2 different templates. You have the fabric template and you have the interfacing template. Now the interfacing template is slightly smaller. So if I put that circle over, you'll be able to see the interfacing template is smaller. What we want to do is we want to cut a piece out of the interfacing and we're going to adhere that to the back of our fabric, and that just gives us a little bit of a guide. It makes the fabric a little bit thicker, so when we turn our fabrics around, we've got something to butt up against, and that's why we've done it this way. So we need both of these, but you've also got your little booklet in here which shows you how to put everything together. It gives you some handy tips as well, and we also recommend that you buy some fine Aurifil thread. This is super, super fine. You probably can't even see how fine it is, but it's much finer than the normal thread that we would use because you want to do tiny stitches. You will also need to use some milliner's needles. These are milliner's or straw needles. They are size 10, so they're really tiny. And because they're so tiny, because the thread is so tiny, I would absolutely tell you to buy a needle threader like this. You can get many of them. You honestly, the amount of time I wasted without this, and I ended up leaving my house, driving to my nearest haberdashery shop, which is quite a way away, just to go and get one of these. It was a foolish idea of me thinking I'd be able to thread these, because it's really difficult. So those are the things that you probably won't have, and I definitely recommend that you get hold of. Another thing to get are little applique pins. They are shorter than an ordinary pin, so there we've got an applique pin, and that's the size of one of our normal pins. It's just because you've got small applique, you don't want the pins getting in the way, so you want to use a smaller pin. We don't sell them. I bought these from our normal online retailer for everything you can possibly imagine. And again, you use your heat erasable pen is an ideal thing for you to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop all of those pieces over there, and I'm going to get my fabric templates. Now I want to use basically this pattern here. I want that kind of stem with the flower in the middle. I didn't worry about doing these other little circles, because what I did was the actual flower, and then I put a flower button in here, and I only put one leaf on each side because actually it looked too busy, because you want this to fit in to this piece of fabric, and bear in mind you've got to stitch the zip onto it as well, so you need a little bit of space around either side. So I'm going to get my fabric. So I want to use this blue fabric. So all of this is sort of different types of blue, and I just need to find where I'm going to pop this curve here. This is like a nice wide curve. So again, using your heat erasable pen, I find it easier to draw into my templates, but if you wanted to draw around the outside of the templates, you can use little bags of templates. Basically the bits have been cut out, and you could use that. We're going to cut this. Now, with needle turned applique is a way of cutting your fabric, but appliquing your fabric by flicking under the raw edge, just underneath what you're stitching. It is, like I say, it is a slow way of doing things, but you get different results to the way you would do with raw edged applique. And raw edged applique is what I generally show you. So I would cut a shape out of this fabric, and then I would either put some Bonder web on the back of it. So when I seal it down onto my fabric, all I've got to do is sort of stitch around the edge, and I could do that with a sewing machine, or I could do that by hand. But needle turned applique, you're actually folding your thread or your piece of fabric underneath, and you're stitching it by hand. So it's, as I say, it's a slower way of doing things, but you do get a different kind of look to and feel to it. But if you prefer to do raw edged applique, you can absolutely do that with the templates that we've got here. So I'm just going to put that to one side. So that is that one. I want to do a flower out of this white fabric. So again, I'm looking for my fabric template, and I'm going to draw around here, this big flower. And I'll let you into a little secret. The reason I didn't do the circles in the middle is because they were really fiddly. And at that point, it was quite, I wouldn't say late at night, but it was dark. And I was like, oh, actually, I think it might be nice if it was a button. Because it is a little bit fiddly doing those circles. But you could mix and match. You could do a little bit of a needle turned applique for the other parts, and then just do some raw edged applique on that. But I thought a button is quite a good way of doing it. So we're going to cut all the way around the edges. And again, this is the fabric template we're using. We're going to be using the interfacing template in a moment. We're going to cut all the way around the outside. Did you say we got plenty of
pictures?
Pictures.
I'm hoping we've got them all sorted, because we definitely are going to share some this hour for all those lovely people that did send in the pictures earlier on today. We have them sorted. Ooh, I'm looking forward to seeing these. Have you sent one in, Becky?
I didn't, and I should have done, because I have got a dog.
I know.
And he's actually quite nice. He's a nice dog.
I'll have to pick up. Well, I didn't send one either, which is really bad, because she is my little grand fur baby. I might have to see if I can find one. And I'll show you close up rather than sending in. I won't stress you out, Sam or Nick. Because I should have done it earlier.
So I'm doing my leaves now. They're a little bit harder to see with this fabric. So I'm using a red pen on here, but I can see where they are roughly. You might not be able to see where that marking is. But if you can't and you're using very dark fabric, use tailor's chalk. You can get those in a pencil, you can get actual pieces of tailor's chalk, or we have our mark away spray, which is basically sprayable tailor's chalk, which you could use. You just need to cover up the other bits that you didn't want to spray, because it will sort of move around that spray. Okay, there's that one there.
It's a lovely fabric, that, Becky.
Yeah, these were fabrics we had a little while ago, I think.
Do you go around, because obviously I go around randomly buying lots of craft papers and things like that, as well as what we bring, but it's one of me, not slight addictions, but one that I love to look for. So you the same with fabrics?
Yeah, and I try not to, because I actually really can't fit any more stuff in my room. And I buy fabric thinking, oh yeah, I'll use that and I'll make myself a dress. And years will go by, and you know, and I still won't have made anything with it. So I'm trying not to buy as much as I used to, if I can help it. Right, now this is fusible interfacing. Fusible, again, we don't sell it, you'll be able to get it online, and you might be able to see there's a bit of sheen here, and there isn't a sheen here. So this is the bit that's got the glue on it. So it doesn't really matter with these shapes that we're cutting out, because they are it's going to work either way round, apart from the this strip here. But we want to make sure that we are cutting everything so we can adhere it to the back of here. So if I think that's going to adhere to the back of that, like that, that's the gluey bit. So if I then make sure that my one is that way round, is that gluey bit? Gluey bit. And it doesn't really matter whether you draw or you mark onto the bit that's gluey or not. And it's not sticky, it's just that it's got a sheen to it. That's how you can identify that it's got glue on it. So again, we're going to cut this out, and you can see that these shapes are all slightly smaller than the shapes we cut out of the fabric, and that is deliberate. So we've got a place to butt up our fabric when we're folding it over and stitching it when we do our applique. So a little bit here. Around like this.
Elizabeth I'll try and say this, Maldonado on Facebook says, what will be the best fabric to use?
Well, I think about a bag out of denim, or something that's sort of heavyweight. I mean, you can do it out of cotton, and actually the sample that we've got is just made out of ordinary cotton. But I think a denim bag always looks quite nice. So I would go for this part, you just want to use cotton, just a nice cotton. A cotton lawn is actually really good because they're very thin, very, very fine, and they fold over. I wouldn't use anything too thick. So for the applique, a needle-toned applique, I'd use cotton rather than quilting cotton, just because quilting cotton can sometimes be a little bit thicker, and it might be a little bit challenging to turn it under. So for example, the fabrics that I have, I wouldn't do needle-toned applique with them because they're just a little bit bulkier. Yeah. They're probably the weight of a calico, which I think is just too thick. But you can, you could make, I wouldn't make the outside of the bag out of the sequin fabric that we've got, but you might want to make the pocket out of the sequin fabric. Yeah. You could do that, obviously not with any applique over the top of it though. So we've got those pieces, and then I just need to do the flower. So again, like this. So actually these bits are what will take the time. Now what we will do is I will show you how to sort of put everything together with the needle-toned applique, and I will need one piece of needle-toned applique for you. I won't do the rest of it because otherwise it's just really boring, you're just watching me hand stitch. And then we'll make other parts of the bag.
Do you have to hand stitch all the
yeah,
applique?
you do, because the whole idea is that you're basically sweeping the edge of your fabric underneath itself and then stitching it with a bit of a ladder stitch. So yeah, you do need to do it by hand. But if you wanted to, you could cut all your shapes using this interfacing template, and then you could just put some bonded web on the back of them and adhere them to your fabric, and then just do some stitching around the outside, and that would be raw edged applique. So not what we've specifically designed this collection for, but it would work easily as well to do it that way. Right, ironing board. And then let's get these bits of fabric all adhered. So we've got a little petal, a little petal.
A little pack? What's it? What's it?
Little petal.
Petal?
Little petal.
A little petal.
I want to make sure I've got it around the right way, so I'm making sure that that sheen, that bit, almost sort of glittery bit, is facing the wrong side of my fabric. And I want to put it that way. There we go. And then I want to flip it over and give it an iron. And then that should have stuck to that. So that's what I'm going to do with all of these pieces. And I'm not going to take too long to do. Make sure it's around the right way.
Maricel wants to join you, bless her. She said, I really want to pull my templates out and work on this one, but officially I'm at work, in brackets, at home. So I need to be typing, not sewing.
Oh.
Maybe you could join in later on. And don't forget, Becky does finish off from home. She does a craft along at home with a project that she's already started and completes it then. Always very difficult, isn't it, to be able to complete a full craft along project.
It's really hard.
With sewing in terms of a 2-hour slot.
The thing is, if the sewing machine needs rethreading, you can lose a few minutes, and that sort of every minute counts. It's very difficult to do a craft along, and especially with these products, because they're not quick makes. They do take a little bit of time, and you know, there's no point me just showing you a bit of it and never continuing it. It doesn't make any sense. We'll flip that over.
Rhonda Crowley's creation says, hello everyone, a bit late. Whoops. It's okay, it doesn't matter what time you come. You can always go back and watch these shows. Don't forget we are, 24/7 now. So when we're not live, you can still continue to watch all the shows at any time given point of the day. You just tune in whenever you want to. And of course, you can always come back and watch this show with Becky.
So we're just going to line everything up to see how it's going to look, because we might need to just sort of jig everything around. So that's going to be our main part. And then we've got a leaf. So again, make sure, you know, you want to bear in mind you're going to have a 1/4 inch seam allowance around here. And then maybe one there. So I might need to move that in a little bit, like that. And then that flower is going to go on that piece here. Now, when you look at it, you've got to remember that all of the pieces are going to be that much smaller when you actually come down to put it together. So you may find you need to move your little leaves a little bit closer in, because you're going to lose some of the space, some of the size of the flower when you come to use it. But once you're happy with where it's going to go, you're going to pin it down and make sure that that's, you know, where you want it to be. But before you do that, you can see here, this is where the interfacing is. Now, if I fold over the edge, it naturally seems to want to fold over where that interfacing is. And that is what we're going to be doing. So when we come to stitch it, we're sort of going to be sweeping that piece of fabric underneath and then stitching it and putting it in place. But nothing's going to be glued down. It's all going to be hand stitched. Now, what I want to do is I want to do a couple of little nicks around on the curve. It's just going to make life a lot easier for us when we come to use it. So whereas before, when I've sewn a curve, I talk about clipping the curves. And actually, this is really important when you're doing curves here. So I try to do it without, and actually you do need to give them a little bit of a snip. So on the inside curve and the outside curve, I'm just cutting up to, or almost up to, where that interfacing is. And they're probably about 1 centimetre apart each time when I go around. So now that is ready for me to pin in place using some of these pins, and then we're going to start sewing that together in a few moments.
So you're just pinning all these pieces down then, Becky?
I'm
Do you
just
feel like we could have a short break?
Let's pin these pieces down so it's in place, and then when we come back after the break, I'll show you how I'm going to start stitching it. But it's only going to be this piece that I'm going to stitch, because I'm not going to stitch the rest of it because it's boring for you to watch me sew.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. We have got, like I said, we've got the deal of the bags, and I'll just repeat that deal for you again so you can see just how fabulous these are. The bag that Becky's working with is this fabulous template here, and that one is officially called the, Slimline Crossover Bag. I always think, why can't they put it on the top? Why did they have to put it on the bottom? And Debbie's struggling to read the screen today for some strange reason. I thought I'd got the wrong glasses on. The craft tote, which proved to be a popular one, and rightly so. And of course, then the lovely backpack as well. So that's your 3 template bags. It even tells you what you need on the back. I love that. It gives you a little menu list on the back of each one. And then your Turned Edge Applique pieces are from the Joe Avery collection. The meadow flowers, the floral tile, and lastly the spring blooms, which are just absolutely beautiful. And again, £45 or $60, £36 is the lowest you'll pay, or $48 will be the lowest you pay if you are brand new to Club Inspire or a platinum member. And we are going to take a short break. We're going to give you an opportunity to check out for those who want to get hold of these, but also to give Becky a couple of minutes to rest her voice and also to just lay out everything. But do come back and join us in a couple of minutes. We'll see you on the other side of this.
My day-to-day life is pretty busy in work. Literally, I get in the door, I check my polls, I then check what I've got to demo, I then get everything ready, and it's just busy, busy, busy from there. I have a meeting with the producer, the director, we get then sorted for the shows, talk to the presenter, and it depends what side I'm on. I mean, sometimes the presenting side, sometimes I'm doing the demonstration side, and I love both. It's actually who I get to work with. That's, yeah, I can't know more than that other than anybody that works here. We are a big family. We're so super friendly. I love Ben. I love it when we work together. And I don't mean that I don't love anyone else. It's the fact that Ben is the presenter and then I'm demonstrating and we just have this great rapport. Same with Craig, same with Debbie, the whole team. So yeah, the best part of the day is just getting to work with people in the industry. Oh, a night out. In the morning. Oh, I only drink water. Oh, well, I'm cutting out sugar, so it's got to be savoury. Masterclass. Oh, I can't leave the house without my lipstick. Oh, I love a baked potato. I relax, so I literally drive home normally and then I...
Come in, check my emails, then lay the shows out in the studio, set pack shots up. Then I will get new polls, pick shows, solve any problems that need solving. We deal with other teams where we receive marketing suites, we receive boards. We pick samples to send to Hobby Maker. We pick samples to send to QVC. We will take the previous shows out of the studios, set the new shows up. We do floor manage occasionally, all the time, making sure that the craft expert presenters have everything at hand that they need. Anything that they haven't got shows, we will run about and get the products for them. Think on a morning when it's really quiet, I can get more done when there's nobody else in the building. Night owl. Morning. Coffee on a morning, tea the rest of the day. Savoury. Normally lunchtime. Craft along. Mobile phone. Christina's chicken wrap. Barry White, you're my first, my last, my everything. Go home and make the tea.
And welcome back. Right, we did say in that earlier show today that we were going to share the pictures that some of our lovely viewers sent in earlier on today because it's National Pet Day, and I'm assuming it's across the globe because it's a National Pet Day, but who knows?
So, would that be international?
International or national? Does that mean it's just here in the UK?
I think so, yeah.
Either way,
Never
you've
mind,
sent
everyone
some
can join
pictures
in.
and we can't wait to see them, and we have loaded them up. I'm going to share one with you on my phone of my little fur grandbaby, but first of all we're going to see a selection, and I'm loving this. This is so cute. Look at Audrey's little pussycat. I love her. Oh, look, that is a super cute. Is this in the cat's called Audrey? Oh, Maricel, I do apologise. I thought this was from Audrey earlier on because we do have a viewer who watches us called Audrey.
And my
Maricel,
mum.
this is your little Audrey. She is beautiful. What, she thinks she's a what? Oh,
She's so pretty, isn't she?
Look at her. She's absolutely super cute. Now, before I say who this is from then, is this Cleo the doggy that's coming up next?
Oh.
Oh, look. Oh. Is that a little squidgy real banana or one of them play bananas on the floor? Does it look like a play one? I tell you, my eyes are really bad tonight. So where's Cleo from then? Kirsty D's mum's dog. Oh, look, she's beautiful. Do we have any more? Oh, my life, look at Frankie. Oh, Sarah Brown. Yeah, Sarah Brown does lots of pet sitting, dog sitting. And oh, little Frankie, super cute. Oh, look at that little face. This is Freya and Comet that are coming up next. Kirsty D's own cats, these two, yeah? Oh, look, that just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Oh, that's super cute. And we've got a little Humphrey. Oh. Maricel's other cat.
He's wanting my job by the looks of things.
So she's got an Audrey and an Humphrey. Look at that. Wait a minute, what's she sat on? Sorry, what's she sat on? He's on the sewing machine.
That's brilliant, I love that.
Oh my God, that's so cute. And then from Jeanette Shirley, wait a minute, is it Jeanette and this is called Shirley? Ovia. What a beautiful name either way, and what a gorgeous little doggy. Look how super cute that is. Thank you very much for sharing, Jeanette. Now, is this Zana or Zena? It's Sarah. I'm just going to tell you now, absolutely super cute. Look at that little face. Do you want to see my little grandbaby? So I'm going to try and anchor it up at the camera. Sam, you'll have to point me in the right direction. There we go. So if I come in close, let's come in close. That's my little Ruru. She's so cute. And well, there is a couple more that she sent me, but I'm not so sure if Mummy knows that she was on the bed. I mean, really, Ruru, you know you're not allowed up there. But absolutely super cute. She's my little grandbaby in the furry four-legged variety.
I've found one of my dogs now.
Have you got one?
Yeah, I've got one. Can I? It's a little video.
Of course you can.
Can I like that? The overhead, yeah.
Oh, let's have a look.
So this is Charlie.
Wait a minute.
He's on holiday.
Is Charlie got sunglasses on?
He has, yeah. He's a cool dude.
Oh, my life.
They're funny things, aren't they, these animals we have? I used to work with somebody and we babysat, we pet sat her rat. So I was a bit, I don't mind hamster, but I was a bit, I'm not sure about rat because they're really big. So the body's this big.
Oh, yeah.
And the tail's like that
massive.
big. Oh my God, it's the cutest thing. So when he went to bed, it pulled up the covers and laid down in the bed. And then, absolutely really clever, she's got 2 dogs. And when she comes home, the dogs and the rats are all out in the house. And she calls them and they all come running down the stairs to see her. They are very clever. And it was quite a cute thing, but I was a bit, not sure about a rat. But very cute. So shall I show you how to get started with the sewing?
Yes, please.
Right. So I've got my thread here with my very fine needle, and I'm just going to fold over. I'm going to start around about here, not at the very end. I'm going to fold in my fabric up against that piece of interfacing, and then I'm going to hide my knot there, and then all I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up some of my fabric, and then I'm going to move my needle, she says, struggling to see, into where I folded the piece of applique over the top, and that's what we're going to do. It's like a little ladder stitch. And so you want to use a thread that is the same kind of colour as your thread that you're using. I am using a white thread so you can see it a little bit better, but in an ideal world I'd use a dark grey or a blue to hold this together. So we're just stitching through that little fold. I've just folded my piece of applique over the edge of that piece of interfacing, and that's acting as a bit of a buffer, a bit of a guide. So I'm just going to stitch through here like that, down here into the fabric, then up to that little point where that fabric's been folded over, and then we're just going to, you can sweep it. I tend to sweep in with my thumb and my what's the word? My needle? Nail.
I'm thinking finger. Is it
Yeah,
a finger?
I'd sort of fold it down, so I'm pressing it down, so this bit's being folded. You can see that that piece here is that outer edge, and we're just folding down, and we're just going to do a little stitch, and then we're going to pick up tiniest bit of fabric where it's been folded, and then across like this. And if you find that, you particularly find with the other pieces where you've got smaller or more obvious curves, you might just need to put your needle like this and then sweep your fabric underneath. And that's why we call it needle turned applique, because your needle is sort of turning your fabric underneath. But with these larger pieces, we can get away, I believe you can get away just using your hand and your finger, just sort of tucking that fabric around that curve. So you can see how we're doing it, and we're doing all of these in exactly the same way. Now, what I would suggest is when it comes to doing the actual flower, where you've got that petal, that way now. When you come to doing the petal and flowers here, you've got lots of curves here. So you can imagine if you're folding everything over, it's quite difficult, especially when you get to that point there. So what you want to do is you want to cut away a small triangle, not right to the edge of where that interfacing is, but just cut away some of that excess fabric. So when you come to sew it all together and you're tucking everything away, you've got a little place, you haven't got so much fabric that you're trying to hide, and you want to add those little snips into the curve all the way around. So again, cut out a little triangle, but not right to the very edge. Get rid of that. And then round here, like that, and then that little piece like that, and get rid of that. So you can see now, if I fold everything over like that, and I'll be stitching that all together, all those little tiny pieces, you can see you're getting a nice curve, a nice smooth curve, but when you're coming to that point, you haven't got too much fabric to try and hide in that little turn here. So that's how you're going to do it. I would suggest that you start off, because obviously you want to start off with this main stem, then put your leaves in place, bearing in mind this is going to be a little bit smaller when you come to put it all together, but that's how you're going to do it. So I'm going to carry on with this bit.
I'm fascinated. I'm not going to lie, I'm fascinated. I've been literally sat watching every single move you made then, and I was straining my eyes at one point, Becky, because I'm thinking...
It is quite difficult. This is, when you're doing it, good light and glasses.
Good lights, glasses, yeah. And I think it's very therapeutic. Absolutely very therapeutic.
Yeah.
Don't forget, the deal on the screen that you can see is the one of the bag templates that Becky is using in this craft along. Now, we're approaching the back end of the first hour, which has just flown by. And I genuinely mean it. I'm fascinated, and I can't wait to see what we get up to in the second hour of this craft along project with our fabulous Becky, because it looks amazing. So welcome back for the second part for those, because you'll understand when we do 24/7 now, we just have our shows that go out there on the live stream. Welcome back. It's the second part of the softer crafts, or the softer side of life. It's craft along with our sewing experts, which of course is our beautiful Becky. Although I've stolen a crown for the day, if you're wondering why, randomly Debbie's got a crown stuck on her head. We've already completed so much, well I say so much of it, but it's a slow process. Like Becky said, this is not something that we can do in just the 2 hours. And as you all know, Becky, when she does her craft alongs here and starts them in the studio, she finishes them live on a Facebook Live in the sewing group, and I'm sure Becky will give you all the details of that live so that you can continue to follow that craft along project along. The deal that you're seeing on the screen, I'll just recap for those who've just joined us, is these bag templates, and they are fabulous bag templates. The bag that Becky's working on is the first one, which is the slimline crossover bag, and I absolutely love that. When I saw Becky's make, I was like, I absolutely want that bag, it's beautiful. One that you'll find really useful from a crafting point of view, and if you're making to sell or if you're one of those dual crafters, it's the craft tote, which I just think is a beautiful template design. Then you've got the backpack, so that's the tent backpack, and it really is a gorgeous bag as well, and I absolutely adore that. Now, part of that deal, you are getting the Turned Edge Applique parts to this, which is this fabulous meadow flowers, yes, meadow flowers is the right word, Debbie. Then you've got the floral tile, and then lastly, the spring blooms. And these are all designed by Jo Avery in conjunction with us.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful, easy to use, as you've seen with Becky and how she's showing you how to do that. That's the deal that you're getting. It's all 6 for £45 or $60, and then look at that platinum price, or if you're brand new to Club Inspire today, £36 or $48, which they flew when they launched. Was it last month these launched?
Yeah, it was last
Becky?
month. Yeah,
last month. And they flew, and surprisingly so, it's a great price for lots of craftability in terms of your soft crafts for you sewers out there, and anybody wanting to start really, because Becky showed you and explains really, really kind of easily just how you could pick it up that if you were the first time, like myself. I think I even feel confident enough to try this, Becky.
Yeah.
Watching you explain everything and do everything just means that I think anybody could have a go at this.
You absolutely can. It's just one of those things that it takes a bit of time to do. And I think in this, where we all are, we want to make something really quickly. If you want to do applique really quickly, this is not for you. I would buy it and use it as raw edged applique, where you could just cut everything out and whack it on with some glue and then stitch around with your sewing machine, or even just do a little bit of running stitch. But this does take a little bit of time, and as I say, good light is what you need.
Now, producer Nick tells me that she's found a little. She's always having a nosy round to see. She's always thinking. She loves a deal. Me and you too, honestly, me, you, Becky, I think everybody loves a good deal. So she's been having a little rummage around and she's found a good deal for you. Oh, yes.
Yeah, this is what you want.
This is a good deal, because this is the light pad with your free storage bag for the price of basically what the light pad would be, $19.99, so you're getting the bag for free, $24.99, but that's the price that you would pay if you wasn't in the club. If you are in the club and you're at a platinum membership, which gets you the 20% off, that will take it down to £15.99 or $19.99 for the light pad. And the light pad does cross over between the two crafts.
Yeah, absolutely. And just really very, very useful full stop, isn't it? I mean, if you had... You wanted to do a bit of writing on your card,
yes.
You could just print that off with a printer and then trace it over the top, can't you? Yeah,
absolutely.
Really useful.
Absolutely.
Good.
So that's a really good deal. Don't forget, we've still currently got the spring sale going off, which runs up until the 14th of April, I believe. So by my reckoning, you've still got another 3 days left of that. Don't forget, if you missed the earlier show, the one was called Softer Side of Life, and we nicknamed it the little cartload kind of style because we had some amazing deals in there, some better than that's on the spring sale. So please do check out that show and look at all those products. There were some amazing deals, bundles that were brilliant value that you took advantage of. Have we still got them left? Has it gone? I was going to say we're just going to have a look, because the builder block was there but was hanging by a very thin thread. Are we down to the Right, okay. So let's just put it this way. If there was 3 of you in the room, 2, 1, disappointed? Yeah, 2 would be disappointed. So let's just put it into perspective. We've got 1 left. So if you want the build-a-block system, and we've heard so many testimonials today while we've been in the show, testimonials about why you need this build-a-block in your life, it is absolutely fabulous, because if I just turn it round for a second, there you can see all the different variations with the 18 pieces, because let's not fuss around, 18 dies are in there. But look at all the different configurations, all the different patterns that you could be making with your build-a-block system. For a lot of people who are in the sewing industry and craft for a living, or just pick this up as a hobby, this is one of those things that you absolutely need, because it's got everything in there that you need. And it's the square die set, the half square triangle die set, the quarter square triangle die set, and the booklet, which is also very important as well. Rosalind has been showing us a little bit of her work that she's been making with the build-a-block system.
Wow.
Thank you so much,
I like that.
Rosalind. That is absolutely beautiful. And Rosalind was one of those lovely ladies earlier on who commented and said why she personally felt that the build-a-block in her life made things super easy in terms of cutting multiple fabrics in one go, getting all your pieces out so that you can get creative on your quilts and things like that. So that's why you need it. And we did have single figures when we first started that earlier show. We're down to 1. So for that 1 person, you might be you watching right now who's been thinking about it and thinking, I'll just hang on a little bit longer. They're bound to get some more stock in. I'm just going to say it and put it out there. I'm not sure. I can't say that for sure. But what I can tell you is that deal won't hang around forever, and neither will that one. This could be the one left that I'm going to give to you right now. If you pop that in your basket. I mean, I personally won't. It depends where you are. If you knew where I live, it'll be okay. But I'm not sure if I can bring it. Although you could mail me over US side. I'm not opposed to that, you know. I think I could go over and deliver it if I put a good word in. But seriously, if you want it, grab it. It's a great deal. The lowest you'll pay today, $47.99 or $67.18 on that platinum price. Or if it's the first time you've tuned in and you want to join the club because you can taste that value there in that purple box. So make sure you grab hold of your last one that's in stock currently. Right. I think we better move over. I'm going to read some comments. I'm going to catch up with Susie T and see what's going off, because Susie T was asking a question earlier.
Was she?
We know it's National Pet Day and we've done one, but Susie T has asked a really good question.
Oh,
so
okay.
I'm going to tell you what question she asked everybody, and she said, I love this. She's so funny. She says, I asked if you were in the CTV studio for a day, would you want to present the show or craft on the show, or Nicola, produce the show? And she said, what would you like to do first? So I've got a few answers. Do you want to read them?
Yeah.
Kirsty D, I would probably be happy behind the scenes. I can be quite shy. My niece would be front and centre of it all, presenting and demonstrating. And she laughed out loud at that one. Maricel said, it's a tough choice. All would be fun, but come with unique challenges. Probably the crafty part for her. Mary Pat 1000 on YouTube said she'd be teaching. And yes, I'm loving this. Keep those comments in. Let us know what you would want to be. Sil Sparkley on YouTube. Hello, everyone. She went, soft craft. She went, no, I might have to watch it back. Well, you can watch it back. This is the second half of it. So you haven't missed much. And Jeffrey Langley. Hello, darling. Happy Thursday, Becky and Debbie, and the great and fabulous and most outstanding CTV crew. Jeffrey, who told you that? Who told you that? I mean, really? I'm only jesting. Of
we
course
have the
they
best
are.
team.
Of course they are. And crafting, not grafting. I love that by Hilary. She says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you too. Right, so we will throw back over to our lovely Becky, who's continuing this craft along.
Yep.
And we'll fill you in a little bit more about the craft along finishing from home.
So I've not finished this, as you can see, but I've done one curve, 1.5 curves. This would be something that we'd need to complete. So I'm not going to do that today. And as I said, when we've got other pieces like this, where you've got your points here, again, I just cut down and create like an inverted piece like that. So just so you've got a little bit less of your fabric to put in together. So once you've done that piece, I would then position your leaves, but position them a little bit closer, remembering that we are going to, this is going to be quite significantly smaller around the outside, so it's about 1/4 inch smaller around the outside. Anyway, we're going to put that to one side because you don't want to watch me sew by hand all day. It's just dull, dull, dull. It's quite fun for me, but it's boring for you. Right, so I'm going to put all that to one side. So that is forming that pocket part of our bag. We don't want to, excuse me, losing my voice. We don't want to attach the zip until we've done all of the stitching and sewn the button in. So that is something that we're going to leave to one side and do later on. And I will do a Facebook Live. I do have to clear up in my craft room because we had an errant bird that came into my craft room, and as you know, you can imagine, birds get a bit frightened, don't they, when they're stuck in a room, and it wasn't very happy, is all I will say. So there needs to be a bit of clearing up done in my craft room. Right, next thing we're going to do, we will look at doing the bag tabs and also the strap. So this is the strap that we're going to be using. What we want to do is we're going to iron this like this to find that midway point, and then fold in the raw edges to the midway point, and then fold over, and that's going to create our bag strap. And we also want to do the same thing to the edges down here just to finish those off. So that's what we're going to do with that piece. And then we've also got these little bag tabs. Now these form the little tabs that we're going to attach to the bag down here. You can probably just see with those D-rings. And again, we're going to do a similar kind of thing in that we're going to fold over halfway, fold over again to that midway point. And then we are going to stitch them side by side so they'll create that little zip, the bag tag. So I'm going to get my iron and my ironing board and just press those pieces together. And then we're also going to put together the zip section of the bag. Just give you an idea of what's coming up. So it would help if I put my iron back on. I don't
Like
know.
me with my glue gun.
Yeah, stupid,
I always
isn't
come to
it?
use it and then think, you've not switched it on, Debbie. How can you not? How can you use it?
It's one of those things that I unplug it because sometimes I think, I can smell it. It's been on for 2 hours while I've been working. And then I think I just switch it back on. And obviously, you do need to give this bit an iron. So folding over halfway, like this. And then folding over to here. And folding up to that line. And then this one here. Oh, it's hot. Like that. And then we're just going to stitch these two sides together. Oh, it's really hot. Yeah, be careful when you're ironing. Stitch those two sides together. Do you know what? Denim really retains the heat.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's like when you put your jeans on and they just come out the dryer. You're like, ooh, a bit warm. And fold these bits here, like that. And we'll do the same one over here. So we know we're not actually keeping, the pressing isn't keeping everything together, but it is making sure when we come to sew it, it will all work. So let's move those to one side, and then we can start this bit as well. So again, we want to fold this over just to hide that raw edge. And bear in mind what I said before, when in the instructions we say the whole width of the fabric, but if you're using denim, you may find that the denim is wider than normal fabric, so you just need to make sure you're doing this strap the right size for you. But I'm sure you know, you'll just work out what size strap works. So if I put this over my shoulder, for example, now, like this,
Yeah.
and I can see that actually that's a little bit long for me once you've got the bag in it, so I'll probably just trim it to here. And I know then that that's going to be the
So
kind
is
of
that how you
size.
do it to work out? It's like, oh,
Yeah,
my days.
I don't bother measuring it because everyone's different.
Of course they
Aren't
are,
You've got
yes.
different size. And actually, do you want the bag to go all the way across, no crossbody, and therefore you want it to be a little bit longer? Do you wear it with, you know, tend to wear bulky coats? That will mean you want to add a little bit of
Yeah, you'd
extra
need a
in.
bit more, wouldn't you, if you were wearing
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
So all those things sort of take into account. So we're going to iron all the way to that midway point as before. And then we're going to fold in and press as well. So as I say, you know, when you're doing sewing projects, they do take a little bit longer for you to put everything together, which is why we can't do everything in the 2 hours that we've got for the craft along. I feel ridiculous. Absolutely.
They do tell you though, because obviously you know that I had for a long time, for quite a few months, because I had to go, and you're all aware of it, because I was here while I was struggling with my voice, because I'd been poorly for quite some time, and lost the voice on more than one occasion.
Yep.
But when I went to see the specialist, they said to me that you need to talk as you would do normally. So you don't try and lower it, you don't try and higher it, you try and talk the normal way that you would normally do, so that your vocal cords don't change and that you don't put any strain on them. So that was something that is very difficult, Becky, as you know yourself, you're struggling at the moment. But that was something I found out, because I didn't realise that. I thought you should whisper, and apparently you should never whisper.
Oh, well,
you need to talk as you would normally talk, because if you go into the whisper mode while your voice is not at its best, you can do some more damage.
Oh, I didn't know that. You would have thought a whisper, because it's gentle, it's not causing any harm.
You whisper, can't you?
Yeah.
Bless you.
You learn something new every day.
You do indeed. You do indeed. Although I will tell you, I'm now taking every vitamin under the sun.
But you feel better for it, don't you?
I do actually. I said this to you, didn't I? I've been taking lots of different, and when I say lots, you've seen how many I've got.
I thought they were sweets, and I was very disappointed to see there was not a pick and mix of sweets.
It's the only way I can take them. I can't be doing with those great big horse tablets. I'm not very good with tablets, but put it in a jelly form, and I'm absolutely fine. But yeah, I've been taking, and I've been doing this for quite some time now, and I felt such a difference. So they definitely have worked, and
that's good.
Touch wood, they will continue to do so.
Well, don't they say we're supposed to be taking vitamin D all the time, basically?
Yes.
You know, and that's something that none of us do until we feel really tired, and then we start taking vitamin D, and by then, actually, we should have been taking it for months before. But that, that's just one thing that we don't seem to take enough of. Right. So, I've ironed most of that there, so I'm now in a position that I can start stitching everything together. Now, when you stitch denim, it depends on the weight of the denim as to whether you might need to change your needle. So you can buy special denim needles. I am using the standard needle that came with the machine. It seems to be working fine. I have brought another sewing machine with me just in case, because I haven't changed the needle on this machine for a while. Now, if you're using really thick, like denim jeans kind of thickness, you may find it struggles a little bit. And especially where you've got pieces like here, where you're actually stitching through 4 layers of denim. So don't force your machine, just be a little bit gentle with it, and be a little bit mindful of the fact that you're going through quite tough fabric. This is probably the time for you to put a needle into your machine.
Yes.
I would suggest, which I've not done. So do what I say, not what I do.
So are we just risking this for a biscuit?
Yeah, we're just going to have a go. Fine, there you go. Bit of a workhorse, this machine. So we've stitched that first little bit down, but I want to stitch all the way along the length. So I've left my needle in my, oh God, I've left my needle in my fabric, in my sewing machine. And now I'm going to lift up the foot like this. And then I'm just going to twist my piece of fabric around, and it will keep that needle in that same position. So I can then drop the foot and stitch along here. Just going to keep folding that fabric in. So again, if you want to give it a really good press and you want to perhaps pin it, you can do, but I'm not going to do that just for speed. Make sure I've got this all around the right way. Well, I am thinking now I might message Ant and Dec and see if they want to join my birthday party. maybe they want to pay for it for me. I don't know. I'll bring the ideas. They can just pay for it.
We've got new people joining us at the minute. We've got Sarah Ibbotson on YouTube. She says, hello, Becky, Debbie, Susie, CC team, and crafty friends. Good afternoon from a very bright but blustery Arkansas.
I'm just
Rhonda's Crawley's Creations just put, I would cut the applique pieces out of fleece or felt, which doesn't ravel, and so with the machine, because I'm lazy that way.
Yeah, I totally get it. And it's my mum bought me a kit, which was a really nice sort of view of mountains, and I was really excited to get it. And then when I got it home, it was all needle turned applique, and I was like, oh, that seems like a lot of work. I haven't made it yet, but maybe actually, you know, sometimes you put things off because they look too complicated, and then actually they take a long time, but it's not complicated, and actually it's quite mindful. So maybe it'll be something that I bring out and start doing in the meantime. This is quite nice to have. There's a stitching round here, so that's quite a long piece of fabric we are we're stitching, and I have ironed it, but I've not sort of kept it all together. So I'm just, each time I do a stitch a little bit, I just make sure I fold everything over again. So we're going to just, this bit takes a little bit of time, but the next bit when we go around the outside should be quite quick because we've already folded everything in place. So once again, we're coming up to this point here where we're going through 4 layers of fabric. It's a little bit slower to stitch. And I'm going to make sure that I keep that needle down, lift up the foot, twist my fabric round, go through here. Again, we're going through those 4 layers of fabric.
Wow.
And then we're going to do the same thing down here and stitch around this side as well. It can be a bit faster on this bit because I'm not folding everything in because I've already done it. So I'm just top stitching here just to give it a nice finish. Holding it all down. And you might want to use some webbing for your strap if you don't want to use the same fabric. You can buy webbing, and it's just a strip that can be this thickness or even thicker. You get them out of nylon or cotton fabric as well, so that gives you the option if you don't want to actually make your own bag strap. Almost at the end. Okay, and then we've done that strap there. So you can see how that looks, just trim those little edges away. And then you've got that nice finished strap with stitching on either side. I'm gonna have to cough again, I'm sorry. Oh dear.
You're doing
I'll tell you what, I'm gonna have a really quiet night tonight.
You are going to have a quiet night, and even though, because you're back tomorrow, but on the presenting side. However, I wouldn't worry too much, Becky, because you're with the lady herself, Sarah Davis, for the 2 launches tomorrow. And I said 2 launches. It's 1 launch over 2 shows, which is really exciting. Feels a bit weird for me and you because we've been pre-recording some bits already with the launch.
We have,
so
yeah.
I already feel like they've been launched, but I keep forgetting they haven't actually been launched yet, which are launching tomorrow. So don't worry, Becky, because you can rest the voice tonight because you're with Sarah Davis, and believe you me, she can keep that chat flowing, and I'm pretty sure if you get stuck, she'll jump in and help.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure. I think the thing is you use a different part of your larynx when you're speaking because you're trying to throw your voice a little bit. I think if I was talking to somebody who is right in front of me, I'd probably be talking a little bit lower and a little bit slower.
Well, you say that, but I heard you this morning, Becky. I was like inaudible. I was like, what did you say?
Honestly, I couldn't say a word, could I, when I came down the stairs?
I was like, what did you just say? Which is the weirdest thing.
Right, so we've done a bag strap. We've almost done our applique bit. We've done the little tabs. So those were the same sort of thing as I showed you before. We just folded the fabric over and we've just stitched on either side because what we're going to do is we're going to put a D-ring in here. So you're not actually going to see the inside of this, so it wouldn't look too messy. We're going to put those to one side. Now, if I show you the little booklet, we've given you the step-by-step instructions. And the first part of the bag that we talk about is doing this little pocket down here. And then the next bit we talk about doing is the zip gusset. So we've actually sort of moved on ahead a little bit with those bag straps over there. but the zip gusset is what we're going to do next. Now, I haven't cut my zip yet, so I just need to make sure I've got the right size zip. So I know here on the front of the details, I've got a 12-inch zip and a 20-inch zip. So I know that this one is my 20-inch zip. And I'm using our zips on a roll because they are so useful, because you can cut them to any size that your bag may be, which makes it really, really handy. So 20 inches is here. I'll cut that. Now I have got, obviously you're going to think, why have you got a white zip when you've got a blue bag? And there's a reason for that, because I didn't have any blue zips left. But this is what we're going to be using. It doesn't matter because you can actually see how everything's going to be. And we usually use the pieces that form our zip gusset. So we've got these two pieces with the outside fabric and that foam attached to them. And then we have the lining pieces over here. So these are what we're going to use at the moment. We also need to change the foot on our sewing machine. So we're using a standard foot, which looks like this. Now you can see here, I've gone quite dark on my fingers, and this is to do with the denim. So denim often has quite, you know when you buy a pair of jeans and you're out dancing all night and you're a little bit sweaty and you take your jeans off and all your white underwear's gone grey and your legs look like a stick of chewing gum. It's because that colour comes off. So I would always say to you, wash your fabrics before you use them, just to make sure that you've got rid of any residual colours. You would be able to wash this in the machine, but possibly you worry a little bit about that applique that you've got there. So we're going to change the foot on the sewing machine. We're going to change it to our zipper foot, and that's what the zipper foot looks like. It looks a little bit like a clog. So if they put those two there, you can see that. So this is the main kind of foot that you're going to use on your sewing machine, and that holds down the fabric flat, almost in a rectangle. Whereas this one, your needle will come either to the left-hand side or the right-hand side. Is that right? Did I get them right? I did, didn't I? And then you've got this piece, so you have to go straight really close up to the zip teeth, and then this kind of clog shape actually pushes all the fabric straight for you. I'm quite pleased that I managed to do my left and my right then. Well done me. Something a 3-year-old would probably be pleased with, but you know, for me, it's quite something. It is very important to us, isn't it, Nicola? Because we don't know our left from our right. Right, now we want to put the zip in place. So we're going to take our, first of all, we're going to take the gusset, which is this one, right side facing up. So right side facing up, and put the zip right side facing down, like this. And then we want to put our lining fabric over the top, like that. Now, if you've ever watched me before, you know I'm a great lover of our textile glue, which I didn't put on the list, but that's worth popping on here now because it's going to hold everything in place.
I'm just laughing because did you hear Nick?
No.
I'm the same with the other glue.
Are you?
I am. Always forget something. Always forget one thing. Do you know? I keep forgetting though that's textile glue, and I keep forgetting because I do sometimes do some fabric things and forget that we've got a specialist glue for fabric.
It's just so useful.
It is, yeah. Kalal's a fantastic brand, isn't it? Kalal. It really is. But it's lovely that there's different glues for different things, including fabric.
We're just placing that there. I just find it really useful without having to use pins because you've got 3 layers here.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that you've got them all in place. And the glue is just really, really useful. It's one of those things that I just think, you know, you should always have in your crafty stash. And then we're going to put a little bit more glue on here, and we're going to be popping the lining fabric over the top of this. There we go. And then I'm going to give it a squeeze, and then I'm going to stitch it. Now, the great thing about this textile glue is it's not going to gum up your machine because it's been specifically made for use with sewing machines. Yeah. So you're able to use it. Now, I would say, in an ideal world, I'd probably leave it until it was a little bit dry.
Would it be a bit similar to like your card? If you don't leave it, it'll splodge out?
Well, it might still splodge out. I mean, if you've been heavy-handed with the glue, and as we both know, we're both heavy-handed, it may splodge out anyway. But what you'll find is The zip, because it's nylon, won't move.
Yeah.
But the fabric, because it's cotton, and it's
Will.
cotton on both sides, it stretches a little bit when you
Yeah.
sew it. So you may find that actually, depending on which fabric it is, you may find one piece of fabric stretches a little bit more. So I would say, you know, if you can leave it for 5 minutes or so for it to, the glue to go off, it's probably easier, but we're just going to go for it. So what we're going to do is going to pop it into our sewing machine, and we are butting up the edge of our sewing foot against the teeth of the zip. And that's going to mean that we're going to get a nice finish. So bear in mind, we've got some foam in here, but the foam isn't something that we're going to be stitching. All we're stitching here is the zip and the 2 bits of fabric here. So we're just going to stitch all the way around the outside. You may see, as we come to the end, at the moment everything matches up. You may find that I think the lining fabric is going to stretch a little bit more than the denim.
Yeah.
And we may find it's got a little bit longer on the side, but it will only be a fraction. Actually, it's exactly right. So there I was, doubting the process. So get rid of those pieces, and then we're going to fold this over like that. And then you've got your fabric, your zip with the outer fabric and then the lining attached to it. Now what we want to do is we want to make sure that this is pulled away. We don't want any of the lining getting trapped into the zip. So we're just going to pull everything, really pull apart and put some pins in, and then we're going to top stitch over the top of this.
You're making everything look so easy.
Do I?
You do, yeah.
I feel like I'm making a meal of it.
No, not at all, not at all. Absolutely not. And I don't think anybody would agree with you. I think they'd agree with me that you're making everything look so easy. Crafting, not grafting by Hilary said, Debbie, that's why we need the glue song. We were talking about this, weren't we,
Yeah.
about Ben?
Yeah.
We definitely need a glue song. Marisol says, sometimes you want a slow project. I
Yeah.
love them while rewatching Poirot or other period shows.
Oh, I love watching an episode of Poirot.
David Suchet, I got to see him in a pantomime, would you believe?
Oh, no, you didn't.
Oh, yes, I did. Yay. He were in Hook. New Year's Eve, I went to see in Bristol, Hippodrome in Bristol. And it's his first pantomime he's ever done, because he's a thespian, darling, don't you?
Yeah.
He's a fantastic actor, is what he is. He's one of my favourite actors, I absolutely love him. But he was absolutely brilliant. And he was with one of the local comedians down there who had him in stitches, literally every given opportunity, and was one of those people, a little bit like Mrs. Brown's Boys, the actor who plays, where he throws in little snippets to catch you off guard. And I don't think David Suchet was ready for it, because he were in stitches every single time. Really good show. It really was a fabulous show and a fabulous actor. But yes, Poirot, first class. He's
really
my
good.
favourite Poirot. I don't know about yourself. Is he yours?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah?
I think he's my favourite. I think he's great. I met his brother at a party, actually. John
Oh,
Suchet.
Becky, I don't believe you. Seriously, you come out with these belters. You met his brother?
Yeah, so I had a boyfriend, and his dad was a director of BBC News, and it was his 40th birthday party, and John Suchet was there, and Jules Holland. I know, it's quite exciting. So I had a little chat with both of them.
Goodness, all these stories that you come out with.
Yes, you gasped flabbered, Sam. You flabbergasted. Jules Holland.
I think Sam hasn't recovered. I'm just going to put it out there. I don't think he's recovered from earlier with the wonky donkey. Yeah, I don't think he's recovered from that, because he were talking. I kept hearing him talking about it outside in between the two of the shows. He couldn't get over that your mum made wonky donkeys.
Wonky donkey, yeah. Any of the US viewers, you're not going to know what we're talking about.
Clue. You'll have to Google it.
Yeah.
You'll have to Google it.
But it was a great segment on that show, because Ant and Dec used to get really angry with the children for not getting the answer right, didn't they?
They did.
Because they used to come up with... Basically, it was an animal that was like two animals together, or like it might be... but they rhymed. So like wonky donkey. So wonky donkey would have, you know, I don't know, like 3 long legs and 1 tail or something like that. And they'd be things like... I don't know what it would be, but the children would say, sad cow. And they were like, no, that doesn't rhyme. And they get really riled, and it was quite entertaining.
It was.
It was really good. Right, so I've just top stitched that piece. Oh, gosh.
No, not high, not high. Bit low, bit low.
I've top stitched.
Top stitched.
Top stitched this piece, and I'm going to do the same with the other piece to create that zip gusset.
But shall we give you a little bit of a break?
Yes,
because I know that the voice, we need to lubricate that voice for you just for a second or two. Recap of the deal you can see at the side of the screen, which is all 6 projects. It was there a second ago. There it is. It's all there. Recap of that deal. Don't forget to go and check out on the website all of those fabulous spring sale deals, as well as the deals that we had on earlier. While you're checking your baskets out, or if you just want to go and nip off and do something for a few minutes, come back on the other side, where we're just going to continue for the last 25 minutes of this show with this fabulous project from our lovely Becky, and maybe some more tales on who she's been hobnobbing with these stars, because I'm loving all these stories, Becky. I'm not going to lie. See you on the other side of this.
It differs slightly depending how lively I'm feeling first thing in the morning. Sometimes I head to the gym. More often than not, I don't head to the gym and I go on the school run. After the school run, I'm normally in here, getting by about 10 o'clock, chatting with the producer, whoever that might be on the day. So I've started going home a little bit more now, actually, in between shows. I only live about 5 minutes up the road, so it's nice to take a bit of a break. Go and make a nice cheese sarnie. Cheese sandwich, I love a cheese sandwich. Going home. I can't say the end of the day. You might want to keep this in. I can't say the end of the day, can I? The best part of the day is starting off and finding out what kind of a day it's going to be. Oh, probably night owl now. Never shower. He's so dirty. That's a really good question again. I'm a bath man. I love a bath. Coffee in the morning, tea in the evening. No breakfast. I don't really eat breakfast. I tend to sort of eat my first meal around lunchtime. Craft along. My waistcoats, my range of waistcoats, because you have plenty of waistcoats ready for the day, is help the guys up. I know you're looking at me saying you don't do that. I do. I'm not one of those presenters that comes in, you know, doesn't help the backstage crew. I'm always helping out. You just ask anybody else.
I like to get up, chill, relax, cup of tea, then get sorted. And if I'm presenter, I'll write all my notes. If I'm the demonstrator, I'll get my prep out, have another look at it, make sure that everything is the way it needs to be for the show, do the show. Then what I'll do is I'll grab something to eat, then have another look at the sheets again, making sure the nails are all good to go. Then we do that show, tidy. I always like to make sure that it is nice and tidy, either for myself the next day or whoever's in. Jump in the car, head home. I will quickly unpack what I need to unpack, and then I get on that sofa as quick as I can. As soon as we go live, I love that within our live shows, I always get butterflies. As soon as we get that countdown in our ear that we're just going live, butterflies kick in, and within about 10-15 seconds, I'm going. Butterflies have gone, and we just enjoy the show. Early riser. Oh, shower in the morning. Tea. Oh, savoury breakfast. Masterclass. My mobile phone. Oh, anything with chicken. Currently is The Weekend, Blinding Light, and it has been for about a couple of years, and I still love it. Apart from jumping in the car, chilling on the sofa, watching TV.
The things we talk about in between the breaks. Oh my goodness.
Well, there's all sorts of secrets that come out, aren't there?
Well, I'm loving your stories. Let me tell you, you should write a book. You need to write a book because I would be the first to buy it.
Oh,
let me
Debbie,
tell
you haven't heard half the stories.
I know,
have to
that's why I want
say.
you to write a book.
Yeah.
I want you to write one
It'd
because I
have
want
to be a
listen to all
book.
those
Well, I
stories.
used a nom de plume, I think. Yeah. Sworn to secrecy. That'd be quite good,
I
wouldn't
love
it?
that.
Oh,
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Sworn to Secrecy by Becky
Yeah.
Sworn. Yeah, I love that one. I think that's good. Welcome back to the last 20 minutes of the Craft Along show, which is not paper craft this time. For those who are just joining us, it's our sewing expert, the beautiful Becky Sworn, who's been busy away while she's been telling us all these stories in between the break. She's been busy as well at the same time, sewing and chatting at the same time, multitasking. Absolutely amazing. And the project that she's doing, working on, we've started from the beginning. We won't get it completed. We said that we were open, transparent from the very beginning. We don't get them completed on a sewing project, but Becky will be continuing and finishing this project on her Facebook Live page later on, and I'm pretty sure she'll tell you all the details again because Debbie's got a memory like a sieve and can't remember when you said. However, is it Wednesday?
It used to be Wednesday. I have to say, I don't know when I'm going to do it yet. I have to check because my week has now, I've got a funeral to go to. I've got to take my mum to hospital and my daughter to hospital. I'm not sure when it's going to be. I will put it in the group. If you join the Sewing with Crafters Companion Facebook page, and that's where I put the Facebook Lives. But I will also put it on my Crafters Companion pages anyway. But yeah, hopefully I won't be talking like this. I feel like I'm.
Hopefully,
I feel like I'm talking like Dave.
Well, we're going to say
Yeah,
Ben does the impression of you, doesn't he, when he talks like an East End Cockney?
Yeah, I was really quite insulted when he did that because he was, oh, I'm Becky. I sound like a female Ross Kemp.
But Becky, have you ever heard him take my accent off?
No.
It's like, I don't sound like that, do I? But it takes, and he puts the thickest, broadest Yorkshire accent on. And then he says, that's how you talk. And I'm like, no, I don't talk like that. I mean, I probably do, but to me, I don't. And I know you're the same, but yeah, I love Ben. He can do whatever he wants because I love him. But yes, so you're going to be completing it, but you're not sure when? No, sometime next week I'll do a Facebook Live, but it possibly may need a second one because I generally can only do an hour because I have to go to bed. But actually, because I always used to do them after the last show. Yes. Or in between the second and third shows. So I will look at when it is, and I will let everyone know and give you plenty of notice. Fabulous. Right, so we've done one part of our zip gusset and we're doing the other parts. We're doing it exactly the same way. I've just put a little bit of glue on here. So I'm going to stitch around using that foot again so you can butt right up to the edge of your zip. So you're not sewing through the foam. The foam is not something you're stitching through. I'm going to do this and then I'm going to top stitch like we did before as well. So using a zipper foot allows us to get quite close to the teeth of our zip and gives it a nice finish. If you haven't got a zipper foot, you can just about manage without, but it's a bit of a false economy really. I would suggest that you, if you don't have one with your machine or you've lost it, you splurge and buy another one. They're not particularly expensive. So we're going to fold back here. So we've got our lining in the right place and we've got our other piece of fabric in the right place. But we want to make sure that we're pulling all the fabric, the lining and the other piece of fabric well away from the zip teeth. So we're just going to pin that and make sure it's all nice and tight. And then we're going to stitch a top stitch along here as well, just to give it a nice finish. You could give this a bit of a press now, but I'm pulling it quite tight, so actually it's probably okay. And the glue really does help when you've got pieces, you know, when you want to put them together like we did before. It really does help being able to sort of lay everything out and not have to worry about it slipping.
So again, doing top stitch over here. And now we've got that piece done. So that's going to form the gusset, which is going to go, excuse me, that's going to go around the top part of the bag like that. The next thing we need to look at doing, excuse me, I'm going to have to cough again. Do apologise. The next bit we're going to
Remember, low, 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 low.
The next bit we're going to do is popping these little sections on here, which have got your D-rings. So I'm just going to have a little rummage in my bag because I have a little royal blue, royal purple bag, which has got my D-rings. Well, those are D-rings. We're going to use rectangular rings. You can use rectangular rings or D-rings. They pretty much do the same sort of thing. And we want to use those little bag tags that we made earlier on to go through here. So they should, oh, look at that, it fit perfectly. So we're going to go like this. And then we want to stitch along here as close as you possibly can to where that little piece is there. Now, I want to make sure that they're kept nice and tight. So I'm going to use some of my clips, the quilting clips, but these are really useful for bag making. Want to change that foot on my sewing machine because I want to use an ordinary foot. I don't want to be using that zipper foot. So I'm just going to change that now. And we'll pop that in there. There we go. Now we want to stitch as close as possible to this part here. So I'm going to be sensible. I'm basically going to just drop my foot where, just to the very edge. So actually it's going, you can change your needle position. So sometimes with your needle position in your sewing machine it's in the centre, but sometimes you can have it to the left or to the right. If you've got the facility to do that with your machine, which I don't with this machine, or do I have with the machine? Possibly do with my machine. Let me just have a look. No, I don't think you do with this machine. I could move it to the far left and then that will stitch a little bit closer, but it doesn't really matter. And we're just going to go back and forth. So we're going to go all the way down and then back again. That's going to create that little piece there. So we've now got that tab here with that little D-ring. We're going to do the same with the other one. Where are you? Hello, there you are. Hello. Do it in exactly the same way. Put a couple of clips on the end just to get it underneath the sewing machine in the right place.
You know that question that Susie asked earlier?
Yeah.
About if you could be at CTV for a day?
Yeah.
Carol Wells Sorrell on Facebook said she just want to watch Craig, Ben, or wait a minute, or whoever would be in the studio. I would not want to be on the TV though.
Would you not? I always thought lots of people would like to have a go.
We did it for a while. We did the, instead of the X Factor, we called it the Craft Factor. And we had people coming up to the studio to have a little go at it. So, yeah.
I think the hardest thing is getting used to people talking in your ear.
Yes, it is.
That is really, really hard. And when I learned how to do it, I did it on another channel very, very late at night when it was a US show and it was really quiet. So they knew if I made a mistake, it didn't matter because it was a quiet show because it was on at like 2 o'clock in the morning. But that was really hard, trying to concentrate on what you're trying to say, look at what's happening over there, hear, say what you need to say, and remember not to go, what? That's really difficult.
And that's the thing, we gave them the full experience when they came here, so that they had that in their ear, so they could hear it. And it's one of those little skills that you pick up. And there's still some well-known demonstrators to this day that won't have it.
I know. There's a very famous TV presenter that cannot. Very famous.
Really?
I can't tell you.
the
I
beans.
can't tell you who that
Or
is.
spill the tea, as they say.
No, I can't tell you. I've had to tell. Well, because I don't want to out this person on. Well, I'm just saying.
Becky, after the show.
Yeah.
After the show. When the
Come-
mics are down.
Just have a look at this for the minute.
I am rubbish at lip reading. Rubbish at lip reading. That's the one I thought.
Yeah.
I thought that's
Yeah.
what you said. I
That-
know now. I can't tell you.
That's somebody who has to have everything written on cards.
Really?
Yeah, because can't.
You see, your mum and dad, I feel like they could spill the tea and tell you all these secrets and things like
Oh,
that.
my
from
mum's
other
forgot most of
presenters.
it, to be honest.
This, we need a book. We need a book that you and your mama are
Yeah.
going to do together and Sworn to Secrecy
One to secrecy.
by,
That'd be
what's
the
your mum's name?
thing. Audrey.
Audrey and Becky Sworn.
Right. Well, maybe Monday. I think my mum will say she's forgotten more things than she can remember. But yeah, there was often like little tidbits when they go, oh. Right, now, this tab. We're going to put that tab there. We just want to baste it in. Basting means like tacking. You just want to put that, get that sort of stuck in the right place, but we're not actually putting it, properly stitching it in. So when we do tacking, we tend to use a larger stitch. I'm going to stitch really, really close here because I don't want to stitch where my 1/4 inch seam allowance will be. I just want to make sure that that is attached there. And I'm going to do the same on the other side as well. Yeah, they don't know in the gallery. It's a secret thing. You're going to have to guess. If you guess, then I'll go, So who do you think it might be? Pardon? Debbie, you're... Yep, there you go. Right. So I'm just going to move that little piece there, and I'm going to do the same with this one here. They seem to be singing in the gallery.
It's been a fab day, as we've had a lot of fun.
It's been a really nice few days
It
with
has.
you, Debbie. I've
Have we
really
been together
enjoyed
3 days now?
Yeah, it just seems like...
I know, because I think, because I've been here,
But it's really confusing because we filmed shows for Saturday
I
and
know
Sunday
that,
at the
that's
same
why I got
time.
confused, because
Yeah.
we've been doing so many pre-records, and as well as other bits as well. I mean, Becky, you've done your little bit today in the studio. Oh, what was that, producer Nick? Oh, I have.
Yeah.
I have been here since Monday. You're right. I completely forgot. Completely forgot. This is my fake Friday though for me.
Yeah.
I would have been here tomorrow though, Becky. However, I couldn't because I've got to look after the grandchildren tomorrow. Not that I've got to. I want to. But all my days. It's a good job I'm an early bird because I've got to get up really early tomorrow to take them to school. Normally I don't do
How
that
early
run.
do you have to take them in?
They have to be in for 8:30.
8:30.
8:30, yes.
That's quite early, isn't it?
So I need to be up at the house early to get
Yeah.
them ready because Mummy will be flapping because she needs to get ready for this passing out
Yeah.
for George for his fire service. So she'll be flapping because she'll want to get ready and look her best, and George will want to look his best, and I'll be the one looking after the kiddies and
Aw.
taking them to school. I'm hoping it's really hot and sunny like it has been today.
Be nice, wouldn't it? Fingers crossed. Now, what I'm doing here, I'm just making sure that I've got the right size, because actually when you put the bag together, you may find that the gusset of the bag is a little bit longer than you need it to be, which isn't a problem. It makes it nice and easy because you can just trim it. But I just want to get a rough idea of where this is going to finish, so I can know beforehand whether I need to trim the gusset of the bag. So I'm going to go around here and then get that piece down there. And then if I show you this part of the bag, you can see actually it's a little bit bigger. So I want to just make sure that I've got it round about the right kind of size. So where I'm going to join these pieces here anyway, like that. So let's put a pin in there. So you want, now I would be inclined to stitch this by hand just to make sure it all fits before I start sewing it with the sewing machine.
Yeah.
Just to make sure you've got the right size. But obviously I'm not going to do that today because you don't want to watch me do that. But I would just make sure that that gusset is the right size. So we're just giving it a rough pin around the edge. So I know if it's too big, I can just trim that little piece off. And actually, you know, you can probably hide a centimetre or so if it's not quite the right, if it's too big, when you come to stitch it around. But if you've got more than that, it becomes quite difficult. You can see here, we've got quite a lot there. So we're going to pin around here, make sure that we've got enough. So I would say we want to put that like that. And I'm going to cut that amount off. So again, I want to make sure that the foam is a little bit smaller than the actual piece of the fabric that I'm using, so I can cut away there. And then let's just trim that off. And that is going to give us a little bit of a better finish. So the next thing we're going to do, which I probably won't have time to show you, but I'll talk you through it, is we want to sew the bag gusset to the zip gusset. So we're just going to be stitching these pieces of fabric together, but we want to make sure that we're not stitching the lining fabric. So we just want to stitch these pieces together here and these pieces together here, and then that is going to then be trimmed around the edge of the bag.
So do you think that's
I think that's sort of where a natural end,
yeah.
And then we can finish this all off in Facebook Lives.
Yes.
But this is what you're going to end up making eventually.
Yeah, so you need, it's a beautiful bag, Becky, it really is. So if you want to watch the rest of the craft along, Becky will keep you updated. She's got a very busy, a lot of going off in her life next week, but she will keep you updated. And it'll be on, is it called the Sewing with Crafters Companion. So for those newbies who are just watching us for the first time and haven't or want to watch this but don't know where to watch, please go and join that group, because that's where Becky does all of her Facebook Lives from, and it's usually where she finishes her craft along projects from. But it has been fascinating to watch you, Becky, take it from that beginning stage to get to where you are right now. All the hints, all the tips, all the helpful ideas on how to get to that stage as well. So I think I'm going to tune in. I think I might have to join the group and tune in.
Yeah, anyone wants to join, you just need to fill in, you know, like when you normally join a group in Facebook, and later on this evening I will accept you in. So anyone watching that's not already a member, please do join, because lots of people are sharing tips and ideas when they've been using some of our sewing products.
Lovely, absolutely fabulous, because that's what it's all about. It's exactly what it's all about. It's sharing information, sharing ideas, sharing the love of what you do, whether you are a paper crafter, where we've got our paper crafting groups, or whether you're into your sewing. So definitely give that page a like, go and join that group, and then join in with all that crafty inspiration, because we've got it for both. Right, I can't believe we're coming up to the end of the show now. Don't forget, there are still lots of deals for you to be had. We did a show earlier on, The Soft Side of Life, where we had some amazing deals. You can go and find those on the website, or you can re-watch that show. Don't forget, we stream now 24/7, just tried to remember which side it was on, 24/7, where these are continuously going on YouTube, so you can watch us at any time, and you can join that one. But the best way to do it, to be in all honesty, is head over to the website, go and have a little look, browse through there, because some of those deals that we had on the show earlier are better than the spring sale deals that are on right now, which only runs up to the 14th of this month. How are we doing for time, guys? Oh, right. First things first then, thank you very much for having me. Thank you very much to our lovely Becky. She will be back tomorrow, hopefully voice rested, with the fabulous Sarah, because there's 2 shows tomorrow with the launch. We're actually doing a launch and a masterclass with the same product, so you're going to have a great time. Thank you very much. Keep your eyes on the socials on myself so you can see what I'm getting up to, but I'll see you all very soon. Bye for now.